Welcome back, folks, to another exciting episode of the Pelican Sports Report. Delighted because we're in a brand new studio today, and what better way to kick things off, tip things off, whatever you want to say, first pitch, if you will. It's the head coach of LSU women's softball, the Lady Generals head coach, Trent Partridge, joins us. And, Coach, welcome.
Well, I'm excited to be here. This is a nice setup, new office, and just found out that I'm the first one, so this is awesome to start it off.
Well, leadoff hitter, that's for sure. But you guys have a lot going on. It's actually your third straight trip to the regional round on there, and so we'll set that up. Of course, Red River Athletic Conference outright champions there during the season, so that got you the automatic bid. Tell us a little bit about the conference and the season for you.
It was our conference it's grown since my first year. There was really Olu kind of ran away with it. I thought that we were competitive, but in the years following that, competition, when somebody's at a very elite level, it brings everybody up to that.
Right.
And so with what Coach Bruce had done over at Olu, it raised the standard, and everybody's following suit. And so now you had us, Olu, and Texarkana that was in the top 25 all season long. You had Victoria that fell into the receiving votes for a few weeks. It used to be considered the bottom feeder conference of NAIA softball, and it's just not the case no more.
Well, and I think if you look at football and the way that NAIA gets out their at-large bids, if your conference is not successful at 1 and 2, you're not getting any at-large bids on there. And you were telling me that because you were the regular season champion, that whoever made it to the conference championship was going to get the tournament bid no matter who won.
Well, so we had to make if we made the championship game,
right,
then it did not matter at that point who got into, if they won it or not, they was going to get the second at-large, or automatic. So Olu, obviously, they end up winning the tournament, but just making it to the championship game with us being the regular season champion, they was getting an automatic as well.
Look, that just seems that Olu is always there, though. Coach Davila and that group, they come and they're a spirited ball club.
They did. They are playing a very hot. I'm excited to see them. We kind of talked about it a second ago, but up in Oregon, the Oregon schools, they don't really get to this side of the country very often. So I'm excited to see what Texarkana and Olu go and do.
And it's two separate, Brad, just like the Oklahoma one. Then we'll get into that with you too. There's two separate ones. I guess Oklahoma City one has one and Chickasha has one, but there's two in Oregon as well. And how did Olu out of San Antonio and Texas A&M Texarkana, out of Texarkana, get sent to Oregon when there's stuff everywhere around them?
It's funny. So me and Tony had talked about it, and
right.
It's Tony's the coach at Texarkana. Yep. But he called and he said every time that your name gets mentioned somewhere, he was like, it's always a phone call later, and I'm finding out that I'm now the person going to where you were supposed to be going. So it was rumored that we was going to Oregon, and I had nothing to do with it. I didn't, Tony, if you're watching this, I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Big shout out to Coach Tony. He was great after the games. I mean, his team put together a tremendous performance in that conference tournament. They were phenomenal.
They're a great team. Like I said a second ago, I'm excited to see what our Red River goes and does against the Cascade Conference that is always every year they have teams that's in the World Series, so I'm excited to see how we fare out. So all three that got in from the Red River all have a Cascade team that's in our conference. So we start off with College of Idaho, which is made the championship game in the Cascade. So,
the Yotes.
The Yotes.
That's right.
We're excited.
We're learning things through our football side of it too. The Coyotes, the Yotes. That's right. They were deep into the playoffs this year, as a matter of fact, in football. So you start to see these teams. Grandview is right in there. There are a lot of these teams that are successful at other sports that are doing that, just like you guys are in basketball and baseball and stuff, because I believe baseball's going as well.
Baseball's going. Our tennis is in the championship stuff. Then basketball made it. So it's LSU athletics is thriving, and it starts with our athletic director Tyler. You got to see him this weekend. Yep. He just, the man's hands-on, and he works hard at everything he does. So it starts with him, and then it falls down to the coaches. And I think that as a whole at LSU, we have a great set of coaches that love each other, and it's family.
Look, and don't think that admin doesn't have a lot to do with that as well. Dr. Carell came back in the work that he did, of course, now appointed new chancellor, Dr. Liz Beard, and the work that we know she's already been doing there and what she's going to do in the past. But you have Dr. Mark Johnson over there at LCU, and it's just this leadership is rising, and you can see what it does to athletics.
Oh, it does. when you get the support from the people that's at the top, it matters. And they're, with the funding and everything else, LSU is the fastest growing in Louisiana,
right?
Maybe even in the South. But with that, they're pushing money into, and I kind of alluded to it earlier. We're getting a brand new locker room. We're doing the facility upgrades, and those things help. It helps a lot whenever you get into recruiting and being able to say, hey, this is what's happening.
That's right.
We're 3 years into this is my fourth year. My interim year was, the first year that I had 16 days from hire date to the first game. But from that time to where we're at now, it's just been night and day difference with the amount of funding that we have, and it matters to recruits.
Look, it makes a huge difference. Speaking of recruits, let's talk about some of those players that have been there with you through all of this. Of course, everybody knows in NAI softball or in Red River Athletic Conference, everybody knows Haley Fontenot. And she's been that star for you for a number of years and leads things off for you and hit the grand slam, had a home run the other day. But things start with Haley Fontenot.
It does. Font's been with me. So my interim year was Font's freshman year. She had transferred in from Nicholls State, and so she was with us. And our offense for years has ran through Font. If Font was having a good day, we was having a good day.
Right.
And now, to the testament of where we're at, Font can have off days and us still be able to go out and perform.
That's one of the things that I saw, because you look at the leaderboard and expect her to be leading in home runs and RBI, and she wasn't this year. Caitlin Dunbar is, and that's not to take anything away from Font. That's just a tremendous year that Caitlin's having.
Absolutely. It's I don't know. I can't go on record and officially say that this is the first time, but it may never happen again at LSUA where we have 3 girls on the same team that is Player of the Year. So we had Haley Fontenot,
right? Her
sophomore year was Player of the Year. You had Yulia Quacker-Knack last year was Player of the Year, and then this year is Caitlin Dunbar, all on the same team. That we have 3 girls that was Red River Player of the Year, and then you add in Lainey Bailey this year being Pitcher of the Year.
Right.
This is a super talented team. I'm excited to be able to go to Chickasha and be able to kind of show out. But to go back to Caitlin, Kate is somebody that sometimes doesn't have self-belief in herself, and when she does, it's a fun. It's just one of those that you want to sit back and it's like, how far is this bar about to get hit? And in the conference tournament, she hit a couple of them that was big for us.
That one, the grand slam that she hit on the Sunday game, the 4:30 that put you into the championship. I think it was still going up when it left. It was a line shot, and it's a grand slam that puts you into the lead 4-1. And at that point, Lainey was rolling in the game too. So that was a big momentum boost.
Absolutely. Kate's been that again all season long, and it's again not to single out other people, but Kylie Moody had big weeks, and Lainey Bailey's, the Sophia Romero's. I could go through and talk about girl after girl after girl.
Yeah.
And this team we're so deep in the fact that I tell the girls that's, maybe hadn't got the amount of at-bats that they want, is that you're playing on maybe one of the deepest teams in the country. That I have girls that's legitimate on our bench that could be starting places. And not only that, could be pushing first team all conference if they had the amount of opportunities.
But I think that makes them better, and I think they want to come and be a part of that. One of them that I think is the most spirited, and she performed as well as anybody did in this defensively, was first baseman Jillian Howe. She's the one that's receiving that throw over from Font every time. She's there and she's digging out, and she saves some of them too. Yeah. And nobody cheers on when they see all of those. But she's a stud at first base.
She is. On that right side, you have Alyssa Swallow at second base.
Right.
That just made plays after plays after plays, and then you have Jill that's on that side, and it's as sure of a right side as we've had.
Yep.
Jill's, her glove has just been, it came in so clutch for us, and then on the offense side, she's been killing it as well. But Jill saved a lot of balls this week for us. That is exciting to know that you have somebody that's over there that can save throws. You don't have to be perfect.
And look, these are not lobs that are coming across the diamond either, too. When they come across from shortstop, they're on a rope.
They are. And Jill, like I said, she saved several people, and there's a lot of people that have to tip their hat to her and say, hey, thank you for doing what you did.
Well, you absolutely have to do that. And so Lainey Bailey, let's work our way back around to Lainey. First year with you this year, and that bond between her and her catcher just is phenomenal on there. That's a great story that we'll tell another time. Yeah. But Lainey comes in and does phenomenal this season, as you expected.
Yeah. So Lainey's she's picked in some big time games, right. And she was in the LSU regional last year, and did
playing for Southeastern.
For Southeastern, right. And she performed there. I think she no-hit LSU through the first 6 innings that she pitched in multiple days. But, yeah, so then she comes in, and Lainey's just been a dog. She's been a warrior for us. In my 4 years now, I've always had somebody that was in the circle that right. I could just turn the ball to, and you felt comfortable in that.
Well, now you've got one of them coaching with you.
Yeah, so having Prim back with us it's been good, because in years previous, I've told every pitching recruit that's come through, it's like, hey, I can call pitches for you and do those things, but yep. mechanically, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
To have Prim with us and to be able to work with our pitchers day in, day out, it's been a big help to us.
One of the coolest moments of the entire tournament is when, and the first part of it's not the cool part, is when, yeah. when Riley was struggling in there, your freshman who came on and did wonderful things. You picked up the first save of the season for you too. But to see somebody with the talent over at first come out in Prim and come across and talk to her, you've got somebody that's just an All-American legend there in Haley Primrose talking to a freshman that's going to be really, really good. What a moment that was.
It was. I don't know what was said in that conversation, but as soon as Prim went out, Riley was able to control herself and to go find strikes. And that was a big moment for Riley, period, right. was to be put into, I know she's thrown in the state championship games and she's thrown in crowds that have been very big, but there's different levels to anxiety, I guess.
Right.
And Riley is one that has to control emotions a lot. When you can get her under control, then she's as good as any.
Do you think, and that'll lead into this question, what's been the biggest surprise to you this year?
I'd say the biggest surprise is that from our team in a whole is that we've found ways to win ball games. Right. I thought that we was going to come in and just kind of run rule a lot of teams, and we have done that. But we've learned to win the close games. I think in the first 2 games you won don't even get me lying to you, but it was a 1-run game in San Antonio, and then you have a 1-run game against Olu. We've found the ways to win those small games.
Yep.
But from the very beginning, we've talked about the small things. We want to focus on the small things, and whenever the season's going, the duration, it's a long season, you kind of start losing focus on some of those things. And the speed of the game, we like to play the game at a very unfortunately this weekend we got thrown out a couple times, but
it just shows you though that Guzman's solid behind the dish. She can sling it.
When she came up and threw Fawn out at second base, I said, "Oh, okay, we're going to have to pick and choose when we're going to."
But that didn't stop you. And there goes Guzman again to do it. And so not only is she a great catcher for Laterio, who was co-pitcher of the year at Olu as well, but she just comes out and she's got a cannon back there behind the dish. So
she does. But it's the style, like I said, the style of play that we like to play is that we're going to play aggressive. We're going to stretch singles into doubles into triples.
Well, and you know that because you guys are top 10 in doubles, extra base hits, and triples in there too, and some other categories, but stolen bases as well. There's aggressiveness on the base pass.
There is. So it's something that we take pride in. When we're out recruiting and we're looking for those things, there's a certain type of characteristics that we're looking for somebody. That is somebody, you don't have to be the fastest. I tell everybody that in my first 2 years here, we were probably in first 3. We were a little quicker this year, but if you put us on stopwatch, we may be one of the slowest teams in the country. But there's an attention to detail on the bases.
Right.
And, that carries over to, hey, I think I can get to second base on this single. And so we play in a very aggressive style, but it starts in the recruiting cycle, and it's Coach B and Prim getting out and recruiting, and obviously me as well. It starts there, and then it feeds over to what we start in the fall. When we get to August, it's trying to focus on those small details.
Well, one detail that's a big one to move on to it, you guys are leaving in the morning for Chickasha, for Oklahoma. About an 8-hour trip over there too, and you'll get ready to start playing Sunday. So how has that been from Wednesday, finding out where you're going, to now, hey, the bus is packed and we're ready to go?
I'm going to choose my words very wisely here. It has been a very frustrating week as a coach.
Right.
I'll say that you finished up on Monday. We gave them off on Tuesday because we just had so many different. It was just stretched so thin over that weekend. It was a long weekend. And then so Wednesday it rains and we have Claret girls in finals and it's finals week at LSU. So we weren't able to have a good team practice. We did a lot of small group individuals. And then on Thursday, thought we was going to have a good team practice, and all of a sudden rain starts coming in a little bit, and we have to kind of pivot, and we go back to small group type stuff. And then thought we was going to have a good team practice again today, and this tsunami came in from nowhere.
Yeah,
so
it was miserable.
we've really not had a good team practice. So honestly, tomorrow we're leaving at 8 a.m. We're going to get on the bus, and we're going to go eat in about the Dallas area, and then we found a place on the way that we're going to stop and get some practice in. So it's probably needed. We needed some good rest, but it's just the biggest week of your season and not being able in that rhythm of doing things.
But you're going with a team that, and I think time off made it because they know what they're doing. It's relaxing and going out and doing it, and this might be the catalyst they need to get going and get out of the regionals.
No, for sure. Rest is never a bad thing,
right?
For sure. And we didn't finish the conference tournament the way that we wanted to, and so there were some things that we probably needed to clean up that we're going to have to wait until tomorrow to kind of get those things kind of cleaned up. But from an overall standpoint, I'm excited about where we're going, the matchups, and getting to do the scouting and those kind of things. It's going to be a fun week.
Everybody's chasing USAO in that bracket there. Very good pitching on there too. I know you've probably seen a lot of that on there.
Sure.
What is it going to take? And you don't want to look past College of Idaho by any means on there, but the big elephant that's in there is the number one seed that's in there that throws the ball very well. What do you do to prepare for that?
Yeah, so USAO is LSUA.
Right.
It's essentially, we play a very similar style.
That's correct.
They're going to hit the home runs, they're going to hit the doubles, they're going to hit the triples, they're going to be aggressive on the bases, and they have a 1 and a 2 that's in the circle that's very good. So from a matchup standpoint, it's going to be fun. It's just going to be two dogs just going at it.
Right.
Again, we have to get there to play them first. But 2 years ago, I kind of overlooked some teams when we were starting to do some scouting and was preparing for USAO, and we never got to face them. So Prim has been scouting USAO, and Coach B and me have been kind of focused more on College of Idaho, trying to make sure that we can get to that first one. But they are a very aggressive style. It is LSUA of Oklahoma. Let's say
that's a very good analogy there, because everything that we looked at in the research, I'm like, which team am I looking at as I compare the two of them? But you're right, it is that. It's going to be exciting to watch. Should that materialize again, you don't want to get. There's 5 teams chasing in that bracket over there, all of them with the same idea.
It is. There's podcast people that covers NAIA softball, and they labeled this as one of the toughest regions. Rightfully so.
Right.
You have us in a USAO that is 2 Warriors. Then you have the Cascade that's coming in. You had a team in College of Idaho that's as hot as any in the country.
That's correct.
Then you got Morningside and Friends that have big wins on the season, top 25 wins.
And they're historically good programs because they come from football. They come from big programs that are successful. The work that Friends has done year after year. And so it's just. And this is a good little sector that you want to be in, I think. This is nice.
We always say that to beat the best, or to be the best, you have to beat the best. And so you have to go beat a USAO team that has been there year after year after year. And that's a hungry group. They wasn't there last year. And so this is a hungry group that has been there. And the past 2 years, we've had a finish that we wasn't happy with as well. Right. So we got a good group that's excited to go down and play some ball. Well,
Coach, we appreciate you taking time to visit with us, and we're going to follow you along, and we'll give updates throughout the weekend. Your play starts Sunday, I think. No, Monday because Sunday's Mother's Day, and they're not going to let y'all play on that day for sure. We'd all get in trouble with that. But we'll check in with you post-game on there as well. Sir. We can do that via phone. But congratulations. You set the bar for everyone here today,
exciting.
man.
I'm excited for you. That's going to be some good podcasts and talk shows that's going to come out of this. I'm excited for you.
In a lot of my friends that we're working on this, we had said, look, it's got to have a name to it. It's got to have a name, and so far I think we've went with the Dugout.
The Dugout.
Dougout.
I like
So
it.
we're gonna do that. There'll be a lot of talk
one.
to come out of the Dugout, but you will always remember the first
Yeah.
one, and that was you, Coach. So thank you very much for
appreciate
sitting
you.
with us. Safe travels and best of luck to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Guys, we'll be back with another episode of the Pelican Sports Report pretty soon. Make sure that you follow our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube page. You'll find us whenever we go live. We'll see you next time.